We hope you don't have cancer, but if you do, this show's for you. The Stupid Cancer Show!
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Stupid Cancer Show. I'm Matthew Zachary, the founder and CEO of Stupid Cancer. With me today is Paul Berman.
Hi, how's it going?
How are you, sir?
Doing great.
You schlepped in from Jersey just for this.
Amazing.
You're a mensch.
Yeah.
A mensch.
Going into the city is a rare occasion for me, so you know it's special when I'm making a trip for the Stupid Cancer Show.
Well, I'm excited to have you here. This is in our series of Stupid Infertility. The show is brought to you by our friends, made possible by EMD Serono. Thank you, guys, for making this show a thing. Stupid Infertility is a tentpole conversation in the young adult cancer community out there because when your ovaries work and you are in your fertile years and you're a guy and you're ready to do your thing, that was really weird. I'm sorry. Baby time. Hi, guys. It's early on this taping. That matters when you get cancer versus when you're 6 or over the age of 50, 55, 60 years old. And we have all this research that suggests that most young adults, when diagnosed, are not made aware of their rights to family planning. And yes, we could say that this is a women's health issue, but it certainly affects men. And you're here to tell us your story because you were one of the many that were just like, oh my God, we don't really care about your parenthood future, but it wasn't that horrible. You know, It wasn't direct. You know, you have cancer. Screw your parenthood. It wasn't that.
Right.
But talk us through non-Hodgkins, Hodgkin's, stage 2.
Yep.
You were 26 years old. The last thing on your mind was probably fatherhood.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the first thing is, of course, dealing with the fact that I was diagnosed with cancer in the first place.
Yes.
So on a Monday, I was at the doctor just trying to figure out what my symptoms were. And then by Wednesday, I was already in the ER getting my biopsy and getting all the fluid drained out of my lungs. So when the biopsy finally came back the following Monday, and it was confirmed 100% you have Hodgkin's lymphoma, the doctor, the oncologist was just like, you need to get in and start getting chemo immediately. So there was no opportunity for me to even think about, okay, what are my fertility options? What are my quality of life options?
Right.
Am I going to be long-term affected by this or not? You just need to go get chemo. And so that's what I ended up doing. And, you know, at the time, it was an afterthought. I want to be a parent someday. I want to make sure that there's not going to be anything I have to live with that I can't live with for the rest of my life as a result of chemo. And thankfully, ABVD for me wasn't a horrible reaction. Either, I mean, it had a lot of the normal.
It was horrible
during.
enough.
Yeah, it was horrible enough during, but afterwards, the long-term effects, thankfully for me, weren't bad enough. And you know, fertility is thankfully not affected as a result for me. So
I guess the question is, would it have been nice if it was even brought up at all to take into consideration that, yes, you may have had like an old person's blood cancer, but you weren't an old person.
Right.
Were you and your doctor, like, did you get along? Was he a nice person?
Yeah.
Is he a nice person? Sorry.
Yeah, he's generally very nice. And in fact, I still see him every 6 months. And he and I joke around about, you know, just how things were back then and how things are now. And he was very nice at the time as well, but he was very super focused on, this is the cancer diagnosis, this is how we have to go about it. So it would have been fantastic if he had thought more about, well, I'm 26 at the time,
right,
and these are the things a 26-year-old might care about, you know, single and well, dating and, you know, trying to eventually have a future and, you know, not just kids, but, you know, all the things that I have to deal with as a young adult, you know, jobs, friendships and all that. So I wish at the time we were able to talk more about that. But I think at one point after the first treatment we brought up, so what about fertility? Paul, the focus right now is getting you treated and getting rid of the cancer.
So this goes back to how we've had conversations here on the show ad nauseum for years now. Do you want your doctor to be a precision medicine robot or an empath or somewhere in between?
Yeah.
And my doctors all those years ago were precision making, apathetic statues in a sense, and they didn't take into consideration that I was a human being first.
You're a number, not a person.
I was a number, not a person. And you're right. Like, it is methodically the doctor's responsibility to cure you, Hippocratic oath, and not let other things get in the way that may actually in kind help you live better in the long run.
Absolutely. And where do they start thinking about, well, there's actual non-necessarily medical things that are going to help with your quality of life, just social activities and
Right.
feeling like there's just your wellness and well-being, and in my case,
Your
it was
mental,
comedic, comedic
Yeah.
opportunities to just kind of keep my spirits up, and that also helps your body fight off cancer to some degree, like just
Right.
making sure you're staying positive and staying
Right.
upbeat. And there's kind of nothing, or at least for myself, there was nothing medically that was being brought to me saying, oh, if you make sure that you're staying seeing these comedy events, or if you're doing these things for yourself,
Right.
for your mental well-being, it'll also help your physical well-being.
Yeah.
So none of that.
Yeah. So would you rather have your doctor be a surgeon mentally or be an empath mentally?
And that's a tough one, because on the one hand, you want to make sure that your doctor isn't being clouded in any way by
Right.
the fact that, oh, you're actually sitting in front of me and you're not just a statistic that I'm going to have attached to my name at some point. But, there's got to be something to be said for the human element, and the fact that you want to be treated with the same way you'd expect to be treated if you're being asked of the same
Right.
thing. Like, I have a future. I need to make sure that, being alive isn't enough. There's various things.
Being alive isn't enough. I like that.
Yeah. So, it'd be great to kind of have, I mean, I don't know what the balance is, and I'm sure everyone would have a different balance, but
Yeah.
in my mind, it's 82-78.
That doesn't add up to 100.
82.
18.
82-18. There we go. Early for both of us.
You get two guys with chemotherapy, chemo brain on the
Can we blame chemo brain for this?
Is it like an event horizon of mental dysphoria? I don't know.
Yeah.
So you were one of the early members of the stupid cancer community when it was just getting started. How did
our paths happen to cross very
quickly. and you were emblematic of the very reason I started the community and the organization out there. What was your first reaction when you realized that, going back to mental health, sense of self, things that are beyond just being alive? How did you first find out about this, and what has it meant to you?
Yeah. So, you started I2Y back then, about, what was it, 2007?
I'm too young for this cancer. Google it, people.
Yeah.
We'll put a link below just in case you're curious.
And my diagnosis happened to be in 2010. So I happened to find out about you through my oncology social worker at that same hospital. So not my doctor, but the social worker there, who had the I2Y postcard. And I'm like, wow, so this is interesting. Maybe I want to meet up with other young adults who are going through what I'm going through, and get a sense that see how they're dealing with their diagnoses. And I never really wanted to get that from anecdotes from people I knew that, oh, this person had Hodgkin's around your age as well. For some reason, that didn't speak to me. But
my grandma died from cancer.
Oh, that's a whole separate thing, please.
Don't do that.
But for some reason, the anecdotes never registered with me. But having an organization of other young adults that were dealing with all sorts of different cancers did speak to me. And you happen to be throwing a Halloween party.
That's right.
In October 2010.
Oh my goodness. Was I Fred Flintstone?
Fred Flintstone.
I was Fred Flintstone. Yes.
And
Kenny played a hobo, didn't he? My co-founder Kenny Kane. Yes, he played a hobo because he worked for
hobo, or did he just end up dressing up as a hobo because of the torrential rainstorm? Or maybe that was a different year.
No, the torrential rainstorm was the conference.
Oh, okay.
In 2011.
2011, that's right. Okay.
But yeah, wow, the Halloween, of all the points of entry into stupid cancer, you came to the Halloween party.
Right. So happened to show up to that, and Fred Flintstone over here came over, and very welcoming, very open-armed, literally and figuratively. And it seemed like there was more to survivorship than just cancer, and more to dealing with it. And that's what really struck a chord. So after that, I attended the New York City OMG event in April of 2011.
That was what the monsoon cancer cruise.
Right. And that was when I met Kenny at that point, and I met a lot of the other folks that were in the organization and just connected,
the early crew.
Right.
Wow.
People who were attending, like diagnosed people. And just saw all of the resources that you guys were able to put together. And that's when I realized that this is something I needed in my life, and just the ability to see what was out there and how I can go on about surviving, and that it wasn't just about living, it was about how we live and how we let cancer define us.
Well said. So since that time, we've come a long way since 2010's Halloween party.
Yeah, right.
And you have gotten busy living. You've found a wonderful life for yourself. You met a girl.
I did.
Who was tolerant of your baggage. We all have baggage. The girls that tolerate our baggage.
So yeah, got married in 2014. In between that, hi Elise.
Yes, you can't see on camera, but we have a studio audience member here, Paul's wife Elise.
So she's been great ever since we met back in 2012, and been doing all sorts of things to get busy living aside from just living my life. Mud runs, marathons, marathons.
You shame most people with your athletic prowess.
Well, for everyone, it's defining what you guys want to, do to get busy living, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it was doing athletic things and just doing more in the gym. And I'm not the most athletic guy, but I'm still going to do and whatever I can and push my boundaries. And that's what it really is for me, pushing my boundaries for things that I never thought I'd be able to do, and proving to myself and proving that cancer isn't going to stop me from doing them. It's all up here.
So just from a perspective, two words I've not used in consecutive order with that somehow made sense. You have seen the growth of the equity and the dignity restored to young adult cancer. And yes, while it still isn't perfect, what is your reflection on seeing this organization, seeing this community, yourself included, evolving over 8 years?
Well, you see a lot of how much more seriously quality of life is being taken in the AYA community. I think that's a real testament to what groups like yours and other groups that have sprouted up over the last 8 years have been able to accomplish. The fact that AYA cancer and survivorship is really started to become more mainstream, and it's started to take hold in doctors' offices, in the community, and just that it is more a part of the conversation now than it had been in 2010, 11. That's huge. And the fact that quality of life is not just some
more than just being alive.
Thought,
yes.
Right. And the fact that there's studies that folks like Catherine Benedict and others involved with the group have been able to perform and show that there's, tangible results from things like CancerCon or things like, just getting out and doing these things that are better for your mental health and being in social situations. That's just remarkable. And I think that's really a testament to just how much it's grown and how much quality of life is really being recognized now as being important.
So full circle on the infertility issue is that you are now healthy. Yes. You've been tested. Yep. You have opportunities.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
It is. And in fact, I was really nervous. And I think for anyone watching for the infertility aspect of this, I was really nervous after my chemo I know I was told that ABVD is not going to be detrimental long-term for fertility. So I still got myself, I went to the reproductive endocrinologist, and I got myself tested just to really
get a baseline
out there. Yeah, make sure that there really wasn't going to be any kind of issues down the road when I was ready. And she got back and she said, if you hadn't told me you had cancer, I would have never even known.
Wow.
Which made me feel really
that's a relief.
Relaxed, and good about that. So highly recommend going to reproductive endocrinologist if you have any
just get tested, find out.
Any kind of questions.
What a great story.
Yeah.
It's been such a fun pleasure to know you all these years and have you involved. And I know we can't really get rid of each other, which is a good problem to have.
Are you trying to?
Shh. Don't make me break character. Well, Paul Berman, thank you so much for coming on the Stupid Infertility show here, sponsored by our friends at EMD Serono. You're a good man. Congratulations on doing more than just being alive.
I try.
Yes. All right, guys. Thanks for watching another exciting episode of the Stupid Cancer Show right here in New York City. We'll see you back here next time. Bye-bye. Hey, everyone. Thank you for watching our show. Please subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you are alerted whenever we post new content. Follow us online at stupidcancer.org, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You know the deal. Stupid Cancer. We make young adult cancer suck less. Bye-bye.